Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to Virtual Sunday School. And great to have you join me this morning. Parents, thank you for getting your son or daughter to sign on for our YouTube videos here as we continue to move forward with Virtual Sunday School, obviously today and next week. And our council leadership is meeting next Tuesday, the 8th, to talk about moving forward. So boys and girls, thank you for joining me and for these short videos. And today we're going to be looking at a unique story of Jesus with a woman at a well. Now, last week it was Jesus and Nicodemus at night. This week is Jesus meeting a woman, talking with a woman in the middle of the day, right at noon. So these stories are kind of unique. You have Jesus and a guy, nighttime, Jesus and a lady, in the middle of the day, and it's bright. So it's kind of two contrasting stories. But the story today is rather unique. So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to share with you details of this unique story of Jesus and the woman at the well. I do have my special camera here as well. So you at home will be able to see the story here on our platform here that I'm using. So without further ado, let me get right into it here and get into the share screen piece. Here we go. And let me close that out here. And all right, so here we go. Wait for my slideshow to pop up here, everyone. All right, let me just move me over here. There we go. All right, so there's the woman at the well, everyone. And before we get into it, I just want to say, hope all of you have had a good week at school last week. And you've had a pleasant Saturday as well. It's been rather cold outside, but that's the joy of winter. And perhaps been able to get outside and go sledding or have some fun and get outdoors as well. So here we are. So the woman at the well, as you can see, is John chapter 4. So if you have your Bible with you, it's John chapter 4. It's on the right side of the Bible in the Gospel of John. Now there's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and then John. So John chapter 4. So this is at the beginning of Jesus' ministry. And as you can see, it's a long story today in church. It's 42 verses. It's one of the longer ones that we'll be focusing on here in the next few weeks. So, but today I'm going to use the Children's Story Bible. It doesn't cover all 42 verses, but it covers the key details and the highlight details as well. So let's get into it. So the focus of today's story, boys and girls, is simply love one another. When you talk about Jesus' love and God's love for you, so it's love one another, even those who are different from us and who we may not like. So love one another, those who are different from you and those people you may not even like. Yes, there are people in our lives that we try to get along with, but sometimes it's hard. There are people that can be frustrating, people that can make us angry. But this story, Jesus says, is teaching us to love everybody, those who are different from us and those we may not like. So what we're going to find out today, boys and girls, is that Jesus and this woman are on completely opposite spectrums in society. They are completely different people. And I'm going to share with you that in a few moments. All right, so it's Jesus at the well. You can see in the photo there, Jesus and a woman at the well. So let's talk about a well. So this is what a well looks like in the Holy Land. Kind of that area where the story would take place. And as you can see, there's a group of students there, kind of probably just learning more about ancient wells. So the wells in ancient culture were kind of the place where people would go and get together. They would be like a meeting place. They had a very significant role in people's lifestyle. So if you said, meet me somewhere, they would always meet at the well because people would always go to the well to get water. And as you can see there, it was kind of dry and it's hot in the Holy Land. So wells were very important. So today, a well would be like a place where we would go meet. So perhaps you like to go to Culver's and meet your friends for a snack of custard or just lunch, or perhaps you and your family meet friends at Starbucks. So it's all those details where those places would bring people together in a unique way. That's kind of the way the well was. So the well in ancient culture was kind of like a Culver's or a Starbucks here and now. The other detail is that when you get together in church. So the church is a great, that's one of a pastor talking about, it looks like a Bible story there. It's nice for churches where people get together. And of course, going out sledding, of course, in the cold weather here. It's always fun just to get together with people and break up sometimes the long days. So you have Culver's, you have Starbucks, you have church, you have going out and sledding. Those were all kind of key examples of what a well was like for those people in ancient culture. Of course, in a well, there's water. So here's some fun facts about water. Perhaps you like science class as I do. So 96.5% of water on Earth is in the oceans. So it's kind of a unique dynamic, how big the oceans really are. Water can take the three forms. You can take the solid, liquid, and ice, or solid, liquid, and gas. So you have ice, regular liquid water, and of course, when it evaporates, it turns into a gas. Of course, perhaps your doctors say this, or your mom and dad say this, but for adults now, drink 11 to 15 cups of water a day to stay hydrated and be healthy. And this is a crazy statistic. I know we have regular bottles of water, but sometimes you're on a trip or you get plastic bottles of water like that boy has in the photo. 481.66 billion plastic water bottles are used each year. Isn't that just a crazy number? 481.6 billion plastic water bottles are used each year. Now, I don't know where they get the 0.6. It's obviously just an average, but that is those are a lot of water bottles that people consume around the world each year. They'll actually water that's drank, but they don't consume the water bottles, but hopefully they all recycling. All right, so I have a couple of fun questions for you because the story of Jesus and the woman at the well begins with questions. Jesus asking her a question, she asked him a question. So I have a couple of questions for you this morning, and they're kind of fun questions. So here we go. So the first one, do you like to dance? All right, so do you like to dance? So how we answer these questions kind of put us in a various realm. Yes, people over here like to dance, and those over here don't like to dance. All right, our daughter Katie is in a dance class, a couple of dance classes, and she loves to dance. Me, I don't like to dance all that much. All right, so the next question, do you like math? Do you like math? Do you like math class? And here we are. If you like math class, you're over here. If you don't like math class, over here. So I love math class. My wife is, most of our kids, all of our kids love math class as well. All right, do you like M&Ms? What kind of candy do you like? Do you like M&Ms? So if you like M&Ms over here, you're standing over here. If you don't like M&Ms, you're over there. All right, so here's another one. Do you like broccoli? Do you love that wonderful green vegetable broccoli? You know, plain broccoli, just cook broccoli. Don't put all that cheese and butter on it. Just plain broccoli. Do you like broccoli? So if you like broccoli, you're over here. If you don't like broccoli, you're over there. All right, so final one is, do you like orange soda or pop? Do you like orange soda or pop? If you do like soda, you're over there. If you don't like soda, orange soda, you're over there. So why I have these 5 questions, everyone, is that how you answer them kind of determines where you stand. If we were in a group. So if you like to dance, you're over there. If you don't like to dance, you're over there. So how we answer questions kind of puts us in a various setting or a group. And that's kind of the story of the framework of today's story, because everyone has what they like and what they don't like. Well, that was true for the Bible story for the Samaritans. See, there's one of those 481.6 billion water bottles right there. For the Jews and Samaritans, they were divided. It's kind of like, do you like broccoli or do you like M&Ms? But Jews and Samaritans, they did not like each other because of their differences, mainly how they regarded God. And Jews and Samaritans, they disagreed on how to worship God. Jews thought Samaritans were unclean. That means they were always dirty. They were always looked down upon for their lifestyle. Samaritans, on the other hand, they thought the Jews were old-fashioned. They thought they always held on to the Old Testament rules and they needed to change a little bit. So that's where the Jews and the Samaritans did not like each other. They always looked down on each other. It's almost like the Jews would like M&Ms and the Samaritans didn't like M&Ms. Jews liked broccoli, the Samaritans didn't like broccoli. They disagreed on nearly everything. And as you can see by the photo there, they always pretty much shunned each other and walked away from each other. Well, today in today's story, that's what we have. Jesus was a part of the Jewish people. The Samaritans were a part of the woman at the well was a part of the Samaritan people. So these were two people in the story, Jesus and the woman at the well. They were representing two people that did not like each other. They didn't want to be near each other. They didn't want to talk to each other. And that's the context of the story here, is for Jesus and the woman were crossing boundaries. Jesus specifically crossing boundaries with the questions he asked her. There it is again. Jesus was a man and a Jew, and the woman was from Samaria, so she's a Samaritan woman. And typically, in the middle of the day, a man who was Jewish would never, ever talk to a Samaritan, let alone a Samaritan woman. All right, so here's the story. Let's get to the story here, everyone. Let me break it out here and put this. There we go. All right, so what I'm going to do here is close this out. Thank you for your patience, everyone. Yep, there we go. Want that? And what I'm going to do is show you the story here. All right. All right, so here it is. The woman at the well. Tired from walking along, you see some of the photos here. There's Jesus in the well, and there's the woman with her water bucket. Tired from walking a long way, Jesus rested at a well in a place called Samaria. His disciples went to get food while he rested. Now, Jesus is a Jew, and he's in Samaria, so he's in an area. That where he would be looked down upon. Okay. All right, so here we go. Oh, let me close this out. So his disciples went to get food while he rested. The sun was high in the sky. Woo, Jesus was hot. Remember that photo I showed you of the well in ancient culture? It's like a desert there. His tongue was as dry as a wad of sheep's wool. He was very thirsty. Let me move it down here. A Samaritan woman came to the well to get water. Will you give me a drink? See, that's how the question starts. That's how the story starts. The question, will you give me a drink? Jesus asked. She gave him a puzzled look. Jesus was a Jew, and she knew that most Jews didn't like people from Samaria. Why are you asking me for a drink? She asked. You see her standing there. All right, let's get to the next page. If you knew who I was, Jesus answered, you would ask me for living water. Well, now the woman was really puzzled. Sir, she said, as she pointed at the well is deep, and you don't have a jar. Where will you get this living water? She also has questions herself. Jesus smiled. Everyone who drinks from this well will be thirsty again, but the water I bring lasts forever. What the woman didn't understand was that Jesus was talking about water you drink. Oh, sorry. What the woman didn't understand was that Jesus wasn't talking about water you drink. He was talking about living water, love that forgives, and life that lasts forever with God. So as Jesus explained more, the woman became more and more interested. She wanted to hear more. So Jesus told her more, lots more. Jesus knew all about her, about where she came from and what she believed. So Jesus is now telling this woman all about herself, her family, her past, everything. And it goes on. As they talked, the woman's eyes began to twinkle. I know the Messiah is coming, she said. I've heard all about him, the Messiah being the Son of God. So Jesus smiled and put his hand on the woman's shoulder. I am the Messiah, he said gently. The woman was so surprised, she nearly spilled her water jar. Goes on. As the disciples came back with food, the woman rushed past them. She was so excited to tell everyone about what Jesus had said. The woman ran all over town telling people about what she had seen and heard. There's a man at the well who says he's the Messiah. He has amazing things to say. Come and see him for yourself, she said. The people came running to see Jesus. Now, these are mostly Samaritans coming to see Jesus, who was a Jew. Many people believed in Jesus because of what he had told them that day. Look at that. Look how excited she looks. And there's Jesus and the disciples. Disciples have some smiling faces. Jesus has a smiling face there as well. Well, that's a kind of a great way. I'm glad we have the video there to show you the story, boys and girls. So let me get back to our PowerPoint here and venture into these details here. So let me get to, there it is, boom, boom, and there it is. All right, so back to the PowerPoint here. You learned about, it's read for you the wonderful story we have. And here it is. So here's the story. So here's Jesus and the woman at the well. And I said, I know there would be some questions, and a number of Jews and Samaritans didn't get along with each other, didn't like to talk to each other. But here we are, Jesus crossing boundaries and the woman also crossing a boundary to learn more about Jesus. So let's end with a couple questions as we wrap up this unique story. So how did the Samaritan woman react to Jesus asking for a drink of water? Now remember, how did the Samaritan woman act? Now, do you remember how she acted when Jesus said, give me some water? Yeah, she was kind of, yeah, that's right. She was kind of baffled, wasn't she? She was kind of surprised that here's Jesus, this Jew, talking to her in the middle of the day, in the brightest part of the day. Anyone nearby could see this happen. She was so surprised. Jesus was crossing a boundary of division to be with her, to talk to her. Here we go. Number two, she was surprised. So question number two, Jesus told the woman a lot about herself. Now, how do you think she felt? I mean, a lot about herself, probably her past, what it was like for her growing up, her family, the relationship she had. How do you think she felt with all that? Yeah, it'd be kind of surprising, wouldn't it be? And then she meets a stranger by this well, and he knows all about her. I mean, it would have been surprising, but also would have been kind of inspiring, wouldn't you think? Here's Jesus, a complete stranger. He knows all about you, but he's saying it in a very caring and understanding way. So that probably led her to want to talk to him a little bit more, since this guy was rather unique and interesting. So question number three, there's only 5 questions, all right? So who did Jesus say he was that made the woman so happy? Did you catch that special term in the story? Who did Jesus say he was that made the woman so happy? And there, I put a hint on the screen for you. The, starts with the M. That's right. I think I heard it there. The Messiah, that's right. The Messiah, the promised Son of God. Jesus was the Messiah, M-E-S-S-I-A-H. Question number 4. Here we go. What did the woman do at the end of the story? Remember what she did? Did she just sit there and get more water and just ignore Jesus and continue on her way, or say hi to the disciples? No, she just dropped her bucket and ran to tell her family about this unique guy who she met that knew all about her. And she believed he was the Messiah, the Son of God, the one everyone had been hoping and anticipating would come to the world. And here he was. So she went and told others about him. All right, and final question. How would you feel if you met Jesus at a well? That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? There you are, kind of like that, being like that woman in the well, and you meet Jesus and he just kind of gently asks for water from you, and then he tells you about who you were and all these things. And wouldn't it be kind of cool if we met Jesus at a well? What would you talk about? We talk about, going to Culver's, how great Culver's ice cream is, or we talk about broccoli or M&Ms. How would you feel? I think it would be pretty awesome to meet Jesus sitting in a well. And the other question is, what would you say? Imagine that. What would you say if you met Jesus at a well? It's a pretty inspiring story. And it's a story that reminds us that Jesus was present in the earth, and God was present through Jesus on earth, and Jesus is present with us every day. He knows all about us. The thing is, that story reminds us that God loves and will always love you. God's love wanted to break all those divisions between Jews and Samaritans. God's love wants to break all divisions that take people away from each other, to bring people closer together. People that are different from us, people that we don't like. And that's the point of this story, to bring Jews and Samaritans together in a unique way. God's love will always be with you, and that will never, ever change. So boys and girls, the story for today, Jesus and the woman at the well. Love one another, even those who are different from us, and even those we may not even like. And this is a story that was the key phrase, the key state dynamic that led Jesus to move forward in bringing people together in unique ways. And it's just awesome that happened. So it's also awesome that you join me for this special video today. And we'll have another video next week on February 6th. And I hope all of you this upcoming week, remember Jesus and the woman at the well, to love everyone, even those who are different from you and those who may not even like. And as you do so, you know what you're doing? You're reflecting God's love in unique and awesome ways. So I pray all of you have a wonderful week this upcoming week at school and at home. Stay safe. And if you get outside, enjoy the snow and the cold temperatures. And if you go sledding, but also if you go to Culver's, be sure to try and get some custard as well, because that stuff is so good. All right, everyone, have a good week. I'm glad you're joining me today, and blessings to you as we continue to love everyone, as just as Jesus did, and remind us in the story of Jesus and the woman at the well. All right, take care, everyone. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next Sunday with Virtual Sunday School as well. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.